I refused to attend my own daughter's medical school graduation dinner, and her fiancé thanked me for it. He called me 2 days before the event. Mrs. Vance, please don't come. I am so sorry. I will explain everything later. My daughter Chloe is 26. I raised her entirely alone after her father walked out when she was a toddler. I worked double shifts at a local dry cleaner, ruined my hands with harsh chemicals, and spent my late nights helping her study flashcards. I sacrificed every comfort so she could have top-tier tutors and a shot at a better life. But around her senior year of college, Chloe changed. It was a slow, painful shift. When she introduced me to her wealthy university friends, she would call me, my mother, the laundry worker, laughing like it was a joke. At restaurants, she would loudly correct my table manners or the way I pronounced certain dishes. When I attended her white coat ceremony in my best floral dress, she quickly took one picture with me, told me she had to network, and spent the rest of the evening celebrating with her classmates' upper-class family. I kept telling myself she was just ambitious, that she was entering a world I didn't understand. I lied to myself for a very long time. Then she met Julian. He came from a family of successful surgeons, but he was incredibly down to earth. The first time he visited my small apartment, he insisted on helping me wash the dishes and sat at my kitchen table for hours, genuinely listening to stories of Chloe's childhood. When he left, he thanked me with a warmth that felt real. When Chloe got accepted into a prestigious residency program, a massive celebratory dinner was organized at a 5-star country club. I found out about it through a group email chain that she forgot to remove me from. Chloe hadn't mentioned it to me at all. When I called her to ask what time I should arrive, her voice grew tense. Mom, it's a very elite, formal crowd. Julian's parents are hosting, and the conversation is going to be heavily focused on medical administration. I think you'd feel really out of place and uncomfortable. Let's just do a quiet lunch, just the two of us, next week. I told her I could buy a nice evening gown. She sighed and said, it's not about the dress, Mom. I knew exactly what it was about. I sat by the phone in my quiet kitchen, looking at my faded, burned hands, and wept silently. 2 days before the dinner, Julian called me. He was furious and deeply hurt on my behalf. He told me he had discovered Chloe's text messages to the event coordinator, specifically requesting that her mother be placed at a table in the far corner, away from the main stage, so I wouldn't clutter the family photos. She had told Julian's parents that I was too shy to sit up front. Julian told me on the phone, you ruined your hands and your health to put her through school. I am marrying her because I thought she inherited your strength. I will not let her treat the woman who made her like a shameful secret. He begged me not to come, because he couldn't bear to see me walk into a room where my own daughter was trying to hide me in the shadows. He said, give me some time. I will either make her realize what she's doing, or I will leave. You do not deserve to be treated as a social embarrassment. I didn't go. I stayed home, made myself a quiet cup of tea, and watched an old movie. I felt a strange, numbing peace. 10 months later, Julian called me again. He and Chloe had broken up and called off the engagement. He told me he had given her multiple chances to humble herself, but her arrogance had only grown. The last thing he told her before packing his bags was, your mother is the most dignified woman I've ever met, and you spent years pretending she wasn't good enough for your world. If you can discard her, you'll eventually discard me. Julian still calls me every year on Mother's Day. He sends me a beautiful bouquet of flowers on my birthday with a note that reads, to the woman who gave her everything. Chloe called me last month. She was crying, lonely, and overwhelmed by the brutal hours of her residency. She apologized for how distant she had been and said she wanted to come home for a weekend to rebuild our relationship. I told her I loved her. I told her I would always be her mother, but I haven't invited her over yet. I'm not angry at her anymore. I am just tired of being the one who gives everything to someone who only values the reward.